Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all doing well, having a good day so far. So if you want to find out a little bit more about me, and as I said in a community post a few weeks ago that I would quite like to do a Q&A, and overwhelmingly many of you wanted me to do a Q&A. So here we are. Let's head on to the questions and the answers. So as I put up a community post a few weeks ago now asking if anyone would be interested in a Q&A, I was quite blown away by the response. I've had lots of questions over the last couple of weeks, and of course attached to that post as well, and just comments that people have asked me about my weight loss journey so far. And of course I have been doing Summer World for 29 weeks so far. So again, there's lots of questions and lots of hopeful answers that will be useful for you guys that I plan to go over today. So before I head on to that, I will just say if you're not already a subscriber and you really are enjoying this content, or you're maybe on the fence about it, then please do subscribe. Please do stay tuned to all of my videos and hit the bell icon if you would like some notifications about when I post a new video. If you are still interested but you don't want to quite subscribe yet, then please do leave a comment in the box below. I would be grateful, very, very grateful, and happy to chat to any of you guys and give you any advice or support where possible if I can. So thank you so much. So I have a little bit of a list in front of me here of the questions, and I have tried to sum them up in the best way possible in my head. So I will just speak through each question now and give you an answer, which I hope will be good, which will be helpful, and hopefully it will just give you a little bit more of an insight into the mind and the workings of me, Denise. So let's get started. So someone has asked, what keeps me motivated when I'm having a bad day? So to be honest, I just try not to get too down about things. I do try to remain positive where possible. Of course, humour, laughter, and mindfulness comes a lot into these things as well. I do try to just move on from things. So if something bad's happened, it's happened. I try not to dwell on things too much because I have previously in the past, and that has led me to quite a dark place. Now, what I will say is that I have quite a set routine during the week. Obviously I have work, I have a routine regards when we have my stepson Logan who comes to stay with us. I also have Rocco, who's my dog as well, and of course I have my husband who lives with me. So we do have a routine of our day that we obviously stick to. And I must admit, if I'm ever feeling a little bit fed up, or in Scotland we would say scunnered, just feel really scunnered with things, then I would go out for a nice walk, potentially jump in the car and just go for a bit of a drive about and get the music on. Failing that, I'll listen to an audiobook, and I will just have a wee bit of a think about what my plan is for like tomorrow. So what I'm eating, what I'm going to be drinking, and just try to move on from anything that's negative, because there's a lot of negativity in life and we can't allow it to drag us down. Do I exercise or go to the gym? And if not, why? So at the moment, the only exercise that I've done so far is walk my dog every day. So he's a French bulldog. He's 8.5. He's called Rocco. And what I will say is that he doesn't need lots of exercise. He doesn't need lots of walking. So I do his walks with him on a day-to-day basis. It's not like we're out for hours, or we're out for multiple trips out of significant length. And he's happy, I'm happy. He's not overweight, I still am overweight, so technically I probably should be doing more. But you know what, I've managed to lose almost 4.5 stone in the last 29 weeks without joining the gym, without doing workout DVDs, without buying home gym equipment that will lie in a corner in a room and never to be used again. And I also haven't joined the gym or anything like that. However, I will speak a wee bit more about that in a minute. But my reasons for not joining the gym or not doing all of this extra exercise, I actually haven't wanted to, and I haven't needed to. So I've just done what I wanted to focus on, which was my food intake and my lifestyle change in my head regards my approach to food and my approach to myself with food. And of course that for me is the main thing. I think food intake takes up about 80% of your sort of overall dietary output, and of course 20% is exercise. roundabout. So I was thinking, well, if I need to get myself 80% on the right track, I'd rather just do it with, managing my food intake than worrying about taking on too much at once. And that is one of the main reasons that I haven't joined the gym. I've also wanted to really bed into the idea of this lifestyle change, and so that's why what I've done over the last 6 months has worked. I haven't, bombarded myself with too much, and I've made a significant change, but I've been able to maintain that significant change for 6 months, over 6 months, 29 weeks. So from that perspective, I feel I've got that under control now, and I'm really happy with what I've achieved so far. Do you ever get a bit fed up of Slimming World? So not yet, I'm not fed up at all. I think I have a good variety of food, a good variety of different choices available to me. I can change up things, and I love cooking, I love food, clearly. But do you know what? I think it's only boring if you make it boring. If you eat the same thing every day and you expect that you're going to have good weight losses from doing so, then you will get bored, and you'll get bored really quick. This is often where we sort of give in or give up or start to go off, veer off plan, whatever you want to say about it. But we have to have variety. Variety is the spice of life, as people would say. But I genuinely do agree, because I think you've got to change it up. If you had porridge every day for breakfast with fruit, personally for me, I wouldn't be able to do that any more than a couple of days, because I would be sick fed up of it. Yeah, you might love something, but you can also love something and then you can hate it as well. And you can really go off of things if you're having too much of it. It just becomes boring, it becomes a task, it becomes a chore. And so we don't want to do that. We want to keep things fun, interesting, vibrant, new, fresh, whatever you want to call it. You've got to have variety in your life when you are trying to lose weight, but also maintaining weight as well. You've got to have different foods that you enjoy, otherwise you will just get bored. But certainly for me, I'm not bored yet. I'm really very much enjoying what I'm doing, what I'm eating. So why did you choose Slimming World over calorie counting and Weight Watchers? So I've done calorie counting before. It's been very successful for me. I've done it at home. The only diet that I'm aware of I've not done is Weight Watchers. I have signed up to Weight Watchers before, which was a complete fail. Earlier on this year, probably around about maybe March, April time. It was all online. I tried to follow it for, I don't know, a couple of days, and it didn't go well. I found it really restrictive actually. I didn't feel it very empowering at all. And I know that obviously it's calories in versus calories out. You need to be in a calorie deficit, but I didn't enjoy Weight Watchers. It wasn't for me. I've done many other diets. I've done the Atkins, I've done keto, I've done the Dukem diet, I've done the South Beach diet, I've done the soup diet, I've done the Special K diet, Slim Fast, I've done the Cambridge diet, I've also done Exante. You name it, I've tried it. I mean, genuinely, I could go on and on and on. And to be honest, none of them have worked. I wonder why. Oh yeah, it's because they're boring, they're expensive, they are very restrictive, and they are not achievable long term for someone who has a huge amount of weight to lose. Yes, there will be outliers within that statement, of course there will be, and there will be people that go on to lose a lot and keep it off. But for the majority of the time, people following diets like Cambridge, Exante, keto, yeah, okay, in a short term it works because say I need to follow this for 2 weeks, I'm going on holiday. Yeah, okay, you might stick to it, and I've done it before as well, but the weight just goes right back on again because you're suddenly eating much more calories. Your body, likes that. Your body likes to eat, so it didn't work for me. But I found that Slimming World has been, it's flexible enough for me to feel that I can enjoy things that I like. Obviously there's structure to a Slimming World plan, but I don't feel that it's restrictive. There are some things I don't agree with in a way with regards to, avocados, because avocados are very healthy. They are a superfood. There are so many, positive effects of having avocado within your diet. And of course, the sin value is very high. But what we have to remember is the Slimming World diet is a low fat diet. And of course, it is a calorie deficit diet as well. Otherwise, it wouldn't be, successful for weight losses. But we have to be mindful of how much fat we're eating. And if they, if they don't sin high fat things within the diet, I suppose then people could go off and eat more of something that would potentially harm their weight losses. So I get it. But what I don't agree with personally for me is baked fruit. because I would only use very, very little of it if I was ever making anything with baked fruit. But of course you need to sin it if it's baked, otherwise if you just eat it, it's not baked, even if you don't add any extra sugar to it. And also the mashed banana dilemma, banana gate, whatever you want to call it. But obviously you can mash a banana up fully in your mouth if you wanted to. You could really, really, really mash it up, and you could chew it and it's free. But if you put that banana on a plate and you lightly mash it, there's sins in it. Did you know that? So anyway, these are things that do frustrate me, and I know they do frustrate other people who either follow or don't follow Slimming World. My advice to you is to do what you think's best for you. And if you want to sin something, sin it. If you don't, you don't. If it impacts upon your weight losses, then you'll know that that may be something you want to consider to look at. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So keep doing more of what you like if that works for you. How do you balance your emotions and staying on plan? So emotionally, I would say I'm pretty stable. I would say I am a lot more emotionally stable since I've lost weight. My mood is a lot more stable. My emotions are a lot more stable, and my way of coping with things is a lot more stable. Genuinely, 6 months ago, I would cry like that. If anyone said anything to me, it genuinely would upset me to the point that I would cry. And that was a big reason for me wanting to lose weight, is because I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good in certain situations, and I didn't deal with certain situations well either. So, a little bit of constructive criticism could be absolute criticism, and an off-the-cuff remark or a comment or a conversation could really, really have upset me back then and 6 months ago. And I genuinely would just, as I said, turn on I would just cry. And I would get really low and really sad about certain things that I probably shouldn't have been getting low and sad about. But that is in the past. Obviously, we all have mental health, every single one of us, whether we like it or whether we don't. And we all need to maintain a good mental health balance where possible. Now, for some people, that can be much more challenging. For others, it doesn't faze them at all. But all of us are vulnerable at certain times for certain reasons. And I think food can be a huge crutch for many of us. Food being a huge crutch is often why many of us do follow something like Slimming World, which feels less restrictive, which feels less, sort of a punishment as such, because there are less restrictions on what you can enjoy, and the flexibility within the plan allows you to do a little bit of what you really like. And that in itself for me has worked well. But I do understand that, there are people out there with, eating disorders, and there are people out there who, like myself, will have had like 2 or 3 breakfasts before. They would have had 2 or 3 breakfasts at different points of the day. They would have had lunch, they maybe had chocolate, sweets, crisps, went home, had a toastie, then had dinner, then had snacks, then had more snacks, then went to bed, rinse, repeat all over again. And that was why I wasn't in a good place mentally. So I now am, and I eat a lot better. And I think the lifestyle change is like night and day. So how do you navigate snacking? So navigating snacking for me, I keep all of my sins generally for the evenings. The evenings are where I'm home, I'm relaxed, I'm with my husband, or I'm with my stepson if he's over or whatever. And it means that I can enjoy things like going to the cinema. It means I can enjoy watching TV in the house. It means I can enjoy just sitting with a cup of tea and a couple of biscuits after a long day at work and just enjoying it. And just taking those minutes of mindfulness, as well as enjoying that food and really tasting it, really liking it, and knowing that what you've had is part of your Slimming World plan, which allows me to feel at ease. Now, I know some people do factor in extra snacks throughout the day. I'm generally a breakfast, lunch, dinner, evening snacks type of person. And as I said, I do keep my sins for the evening, but that is how I've always done it. I always prefer to do it that way. Even when I have calorie counted in the past using my MyFitnessPal, I have always sort of had the meals and then at night left myself extra. So if I did, or I felt I wanted to have extra calories in the way of eating some snacks, then they're there for me to enjoy. Please do let me know in the comment section below, by the way, if any of you are finding some of my answers quite familiar, or if you maybe agree completely or disagree or whatever. Please leave me some comments in the box below. It'd be really helpful to know what you think. And am I worried about loose skin? So I'm not worried about loose skin. Loose skin can come from many different, factors related to our health, weight gain, weight loss, and stretch marks, of course. Now, if you're a woman or if you're a guy, but if you're a woman, you often have much more stretch marks. Now, I've got stretch marks behind my knees. I've got a few little stretch marks on my calves. I've got stretch marks on my sort of upper, sort of the rear side of my thighs, my hip area, and I've also got some sort of under my arm, across sort of in my inner chest here, as we do if we're women, and I also have some stretch marks sort of on the very, very sort of front of my stomach, which were quite noticeable many years ago. Now I don't really care about them, but loose skin wise, I must admit, I think I must have just very lucky genetics, very good genetics in that sense, because I have lost and gained weight ever since I was about 12 years old. So 20 years of losing and gaining weight. And I must admit, I do not have any sort of saggy, loose skin. I do have a little bit of looser skin, I would say. I wouldn't say it was loose. And I know for a fact when I lose more weight, it will be even less noticeable. Because when I was at my lightest a few years ago, I got down to a size 12, probably a 10 to 12 to be honest. But when I got down to a size 12, it was really just on my sort of very, very upper thigh area. And it didn't bother me in the slightest. At the end of the day, I'm married to my husband. I'm not bothered about if I have any looser skin. I'm more bothered about becoming a healthier weight and being a healthier me for a lot longer, rather than worrying about a few little bits of skin. And if anyone has any comments on that to make, if anyone wants to judge me when I'm out and about, or so be it. Have they lost the amount of weight I've lost? Probably not. They've probably not gained the amount of weight that I've gained either. But, I have lost 7 stone in the last couple of years. Of course, I've put it all back on a little bit more, but I'm now at a almost 4.5 stone loss at the moment. So I've just got to keep going with it. I don't have any plans for surgery, but I have considered fat loss injections for some really hard to target areas, which are my very, very upper abdomen and my very, very lower abdomen. But I'm not going to be considering that until I have continued with my weight loss and sort of healthier eating lifestyle change for a lot longer than 6 months. I also want to be at a lower weight as well before I consider anything like that, up in exercise. I want to do everything non-surgically or non-medically first before I jump down any of those avenues. Are you mindful about limiting carbs and increasing protein? Not mindful about limiting carbs as such, because I don't feel I'm too carb heavy, to be honest. But I know that can be easy to do on some world, is to eat too many carbs. But often you find if you eat too many carbs, you eat too many calories, and so then you don't lose weight. So that's what we need to be mindful of as well during summer world. Increasing protein, I always make sure that I have a protein yogurt. So I really like the Nestle Kvarg yogurts. So they are like the quark based yogurts. They're delicious and they're really high in protein. So I really like one of them. It keeps me satiated for a lot longer, which means I don't feel hungry. And it's also quite low in calories. I think it's about 90 calories per yogurt, but they are so filling. So one of them with some fruit is enough for me for a breakfast. At lunch, I always maintain to have some tuna or some egg, like a scrambled egg or an omelette, or I'll have some chicken. And if I'm trying to have a little bit less carbs, I'll often have cauliflower rice instead of normal rice, or I'll just have a smaller amount of normal rice with lots of vegetables. And for dinner, we always try to have fish or chicken in the house. Very rarely have our lean beef mince, but yeah, that is the basis of my meals, I suppose. But I try not to just eat protein, because then that's a completely different diet. And I also try not to just eat carbs, because that's not overly great for you either. And you do need protein for maintaining your body mass, regards your muscles, and of course building new muscle too. Who inspires you? So, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think all of you guys at home who have done amazingly so well are a true inspiration to me. Some of you are at target, some of you are, on your weight loss journeys on your own, at your own pace, and you're following my channel. You're giving me new ideas, you're giving me support every day, and the whole reason that I document my weight loss journey is to help you guys, but you guys help me to make you videos. So I think all of you at home are fantastic, and you have inspired me so much to continue to do well and to keep focused for as long as possible, and I must owe it to all of you at home. You are just second to none. So thank you so much, and well done to every single one of you who has lost weight or who has gained weight for the correct reasons, and who feels that they're in a much healthier place at this time of the year too. So thank you. How do you fit it all in with family, pets and a demanding full-time job? Well, the answer to that is I'm not sure, but I do it. I don't think I have an option otherwise. There are a lot of people out there who are busier than me, I think. There are a lot of people out there who work longer hours than me. I do work full-time, but I know that many other people work much, much more than that. And of course we have many, many commitments, but since myself and my husband got together in 2020, we started speaking online on the 1st of December 2020. We've been very, very, very busy ever since then. So the minute that we met, which was about a week later, we've essentially been busy people, and that is just how our life is. So I think when you're very busy, you just roll new things into your day-to-day and you make it work. And I think I have to make it work, because if I don't, I am going to revert right back to the old Denise, who was low in mood, low in confidence, full of anxiety, full of panic and full of tears, and I don't want to be that person. So to be honest, I've managed the last 6 months well, and I think you just need to be prepared, you need to plan, and you need to be quite focused on what your budget is and what your time allowance is. And if you get those two things balanced, it does take a while, but if you get those two things balanced, everything else just slots into place. You also have much more energy as well when you are healthier, because your body isn't having to work as hard, which makes everything a lot easier. Do you have a step goal? So I don't have a step goal. I know for health it's recommended to really do between 10 to 12,000 steps or more a day. To be honest, I don't do as many steps as that at the moment, just because I primarily have a desk job. I am not too active at work, but when it gets into the lighter months again, I will be doing more steps, probably because I will feel better and more able to do them as well, if that makes sense. But the main thing is at the moment is that I've not had to do like 10,000 steps every day or 12,000 steps every day, because each day is different. We know that we have different commitments, different things that come up, but we also feel differently every day. So I also don't want to drag myself down by saying I must do this and I must do that, because I do need that level of flexibility on my day to day, and I don't want to put that pressure on myself. But I've also not needed to give myself that set amount of steps to do every day, and I've still lost 4 stone, 5.5 pounds in 29 weigh-ins. So I'm doing okay. Has your husband noticed any health benefits? So certainly from his point of view, he really enjoys the food that I make at home with regards to like dinners. On a weekend, we'll have much more of a sort of Slimming World friendly grill up, fry up, whatever you want to call it. We'll have omelettes and things like that for lunches, and he does also enjoy the Slimming World frozen meals too. But James does take his own breakfast to work. He takes like a sort of porridge pot that he just adds hot water into, because that suits his like routine at work. You know, that kind of suits his sort of morning at work. He's very, very busy. And then for lunch, he also buys himself a gym kitchen ready meal usually, or a sort of my protein meal from the freezer section in Food Warehouse as well, or he'll have a Slim World meal. So it's just convenience for James, because he is out and about a lot for work. He's often travelling all around the country and things, so that for him is the easy option and he enjoys it. So that's the main thing for him. And then for night time when we have dinner, I'll obviously make us dinner, so whatever I'm having he'll have some of as well. So I think he did say to me that he has obviously noticed that I have lost a lot of weight, but one of the most important things he has noticed is my mood. As I said, my mood is a lot better, I am a lot happier, I'm a lot more confident, and I do not have the same anxiety, panic and distress that I genuinely have lived with for such a long time, and it sort of got to a peak about 6 months ago. So I'm thankful that I don't have that sort of hanging over the top of me every day now, but I am also aware that it can happen at any point. But yeah, he has noticed that, and I think that's a really good positive move, just to know people are noticing you're a wee bit more perky, a wee bit more upbeat. Would you consider posting your food diaries on Instagram or other? I could do it, but I genuinely do struggle with time, because obviously the amount of work that goes into creating these videos for yourselves, you know, the preparation that goes into the videos, thinking about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to wear, when we can fit it in with regards to outside of work, when we schedule the videos, how we edit them, you know, buying new pieces of equipment to make our videos even better for you guys all of the time. That is a lot of effort, and actually we already both work full time, and this YouTube channel is like another sort of full-time job on top of our 2 full-time jobs. So I could do some Instagram posts if it's helpful, but I would also quite happily send anyone any information that you want or need. And I have done a couple of what I eat in a day videos as well. But yeah, it probably isn't something I'd be able to do all of the time, just due to the time aspect of things, unfortunately. But I am happy to help anyone where I can. What camera and editing software do you use to make your videos? So at the moment in front of me, we have a Manfrotto tripod, we have a Joby ring light, we have my husband's iPhone 13 Pro Max. We also have our DJI mics system here, which is quite new. And we also have another purchase on its way, which will be the DJI action camera, which will give us a lot more flexibility in being able to film out and about, and we will be using that as soon as it arrives. So that's a little Merry Christmas to us. And we also have a MacBook Pro, which we have bought just a couple of months ago now. So we've got that, and we have been using iMovie to edit the videos. However, we now have a trial version of Final Cut Pro. So my husband is sort of getting to grips with that at the moment. But as I said, he does all of the editing. He is just amazing. He's fantastic at what he does. And I'm very lucky to have him support me on the channel. So I think that's pretty much everything that we've got in front of us. So the light, the tripod, we've got the phone, we've got the mics, of course we've got the MacBook, and we've also got the camera on its way. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Do you have a target event that you would like to be fit for? To be honest, I don't really, to be honest. I mean, we're going on holiday in May of next year, and that will be our 2nd wedding anniversary, which I'm really, really, really looking forward to. We're going away to Tenerife for a week. We're going to an adults only 5-star hotel resort. Really, really looking forward to that. I really am. And just to be able to go into that plane and have a little bit of spare seatbelt is a non-scale victory that I would love to have again. The last time I was at that point was 2017. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And of course I missed out in 2020 when I was at my slimmest, of course, because we couldn't get on planes at that point due to COVID. So yeah, I feel like I've missed out a wee bit on that, but I'm hoping for a little bit of spare seatbelt and just to feel comfortable and good and not a hot, sweaty, fat, overweight mess on holiday, where I've always felt the case, because I go red, I'm literally profusely sweating, and that ain't pretty for anyone to see, let alone walk about in all day, chafing, rubbing, sweating, hot, uncomfortable, irritable. No, it's just not for me. So next May, I'm going to be a lot more comfortable, I'm going to be slimmer than I am right now, and anything over and above that, fantastic. But as I've said in a previous video, my goal would be to get down to about 13 stone. And if I can achieve anything more than that, then fantastic. But I've got a good 3 stone, 9 pounds to go. So stay tuned for the rest of that journey, I suppose. How do you navigate summer world when you're having a period? So I am on the mini pill, as I've said to some of you guys before. So I don't get a regular period, which is what the pill is there designed to do. But I do have occasional spotting, and I often have that when my weight is maybe a little bit unstable, or maybe I've had quite a drop, or I've really upped my exercise, which is obviously just related to the hormone balances and everything as well. But what I will say is that I just treat it as a normal day. And if I want to have a slightly bigger portion of pasta or rice or whatever it is, just to kind of fill me up and make me feel like full, I'll have it. And yeah, I think you've got to just work it into your day. And if you have, you know, quite severe PMS, get out for a walk. It's the best thing for you. Get out for a walk, get out for a cycle, you know, do some mindfulness, listen to some music. And if you really need to, just go for a wee power nap. It definitely does help make you feel a bit better. But sitting about eating when you're on your period is just a recipe for disaster, because it does hit hard when you realise that you're not just bloated from your period, you've gained a couple of pounds because you've eaten nothing but food the whole week, or longer if you get a longer period than that. And that's not a nice place to feel once a month either. And finally, what is the next stage of your weight loss journey? So the next stage of my weight loss journey, as I mentioned a wee bit earlier, was just to let you know that myself and my husband have signed up to the gym. And I'm really looking forward to taking you roundabout. I can't film inside the gym because they have a no film policy, but I am really keen to just take you to the building that we're going to and show you a little bit around the building from the outside, and also just give you a bit of an insight into why I'm joining the gym. So yeah, it's part of a longer term health goal, and I want to, you know, sort of maintain healthier habits for the long term. Not just about weight loss, more about physical, mental health on the inside. And of course, body shapes do change when you do take up more exercise and physical activity. It's good for your bone density. It helps minimise the risk of osteoporosis, especially if you are a woman like myself. And I'm not perimenopausal, so like perimenopausal, premenopausal, whatever you want to call it. I'm only 32, but at the same time, it's really important to maintain your bone density and to maintain overall good vascular health as well, which is very important as we get older. But I do want to try to add it into my routine now, part of my lifestyle, because I have managed to do Slim World for, as I said, just over 6 months now, and I focus solely on food. So the next stage would be to integrate more activity into my day-to-day or week-to-week, and see how I go with that and how I enjoy it. So I will do a little bit of a follow-up video to that question, as I said, when I do get to the gym, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it then. So that's all the questions for today, guys. If you have any more questions to add in to the mix, then please let me know and I can do a follow-up session. I can do another Q&A, and just leave all your comments in the box below. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's been a little bit of interesting sort of facts or information for you at home. And as always, thank you so much for all of your support. You guys are the inspiration, and you are the people you're the reason why I do this. You're the people behind the screen, and yeah, I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you so much for watching, and take care. I will catch you on the next video. Bye.